How did Gen X survive? Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gen X Unfiltered.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Today we are going to talk about, hold on, I got my notes here. Precarious playground equipment.
Oh my God.
Baby.
We were doing a little bit of research before this episode to kind of get some of our stuff we wanted to talk about, and there was a lot of things I forgot about.
I totally forgot, how dangerous the playgrounds were when we were kids.
Exactly. I had no idea how resilient we were. Like, we survived this stuff.
Oh, not only survived, but like I can only speak for myself, but with no major injuries.
I think,
knock on wood. Yeah, I had a few spills and falls and stuff when I was a kid, but never anything major.
Not all of us made it, maybe, but we're here. We're here.
Oh my gosh, just going through the list of the things we have, totally, we must have blocked it out of our brains.
I think
Probably,
so.
yeah. I kind of, it's something you don't even think about really, but then looking back, it's like, oh yeah, there was a lot of crazy, this stuff was really not that safe.
Okay, well, let's start the overall of the playground. First of all, I'm just going to say for me, my experience, which is probably similar to you guys, but going to the playground when I was a kid, it was like I left my front door and I said, peace, I'm going to the playground. And I just went to the playground.
Little
and
Kelly.
Peace. So badass.
And nobody, my parents were like, okay, whatever, see you whenever. And we just went to the playground. The closest playground to me was up the top of the street around the corner.
Yeah.
But it was still just okay, go, I'll see you whenever. But now, I don't know you guys, same thing. You could just go to the playground whenever. Your parents didn't really care.
So we're going to the park.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to the park. Be back.
Yeah. That was
whenever.
it.
Yeah.
Now, there was no parents at the park supervising us.
No, not that I
Unless
remember.
usually if there was other little kids there or something, they'd be with their parent, but no one of it. We would just get on our bikes and go. And my parents would never be like, who are you going with? When are you going to be back?
No.
It's just, I'm going to the park.
So right there, we survived the park with strangers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Again, not all of us are here to tell the tale.
I know.
That's true, yeah.
We're the lucky
no,
ones.
we
We're
were
the lucky ones, yeah.
No, but it was, nobody thought to, hey, check in, let me know when you're there.
Yeah.
How would you? You couldn't even do anything.
No.
Just get on the bike and go.
Then once you got to the playground, our playgrounds, all of you out there that are Gen Xers or even older millennials, it was literally, it was on a concrete slab.
They
Or
could be.
asphalt.
It
Oh, yeah.
depends on
Asphalt.
where they were. The one I used to go to was on it was rocks.
No, they did have rock ones. Those were the
Yeah.
step up, but
Yeah.
there was a lot that were just basic concrete asphalt.
Oh yeah, or not just hard dirt too.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
were just
Yeah.
just patches of grass that had been worn
Yeah.
away. It was just hard dirt and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it is now with the spongy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. the spongy materials and
absorption,
stuff, so kids can fall and not get super hurt.
Yeah.
I walked on one of those recently, at a playground, in one of the big parks or whatever, and I was like, dang,
This is really cushiony.
this is cushiony.
Yeah, it's where was this when we were kids?
Yeah, exactly.
I want that in my house just for every day.
Yeah.
It's soft on the joints. As I get older, I appreciate this. I'm thinking of putting that Nerf stuff in my condo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like those,
right?
those mats you can get if you're in the
Yeah.
kitchen and you're standing all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'm totally spacing on the name of them, but
The anti-fatigue mask.
anti-fatigue mats,
Yeah.
where they got that sponginess to them. It's
Yeah.
But not only that, so the gravel was the
Gravel?
gravel.
Okay, y'all know. There's one word I say every episode that you guys laugh at. It is what it is.
Well, it's a big
That's fine,
gravel
yeah.
versus gravel. It's just-
Yeah.
But the gravel was our soft spongy stuff, right? That was supposed to be it'll you'll kind of smoosh into it.
Here's the difference that I remember. I remember the first playground I was at, in kindergarten, it was actually hard gravel, right? Not with sharp edges, all the normal gravel
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, then it
right?
was the
Exactly.
pebbles.
And then they upgraded it to the round, soft pebbles.
Yeah.
And that was the first safety
Yes.
upgrade I remember.
and it was thick, so
Yeah.
you'd step in it and your feet would kind of sink in it, so it
Yeah.
had a bit of give to it. Yeah,
But
Exactly.
it was really annoying. And if you fell on that, you weren't landing smack on concrete with no give, but you would get from the rocks, sometimes even though they're smooth, you get cuts, or you get from landing on the rocks.
well, the gravel
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah.
that stuff was sharp.
Oh, yeah.
It was edged and it was gritty, and and then if you slipped on it, it would get into. If you did get
Yeah.
a cut, it would get all into it and stuff
And
like
I think
that.
we're
It was a mess.
missing a key piece here, right? How many kids didn't raise your hand if you didn't throw gravel at the playground?
Oh my God, that's all you
Everyone did. Yeah,
Exactly, right? So kids picked up a big handful of gravel, whipped it at each other, right? All sorts of injuries come from that.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would have hated to be a teacher back then because they had to do a lot of put the gravel down.
Don't throw
stop
gravel.
throwing it.
That's actually one of the worst times I took a fall on the playground. I definitely remember that was on that old school gravel. And I remember I must have been like 7 or 8 probably. And I remember I was running across the playground, and our playground there had this balance beam that would get higher as it went across, and kind of went around a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
And I went to jump over it, and my foot caught it, and I face planted, and I remember that, like, my forehead right into the gravel, and I scraped it up so bad.
Oh man!
I think I remember kind of being like, I don't know if I knocked myself out a bit, because I remember like kind of being like, what the hell just happened?
Little Steve's first concussion.
They didn't care about concussions.
No, but I remember getting up and my face was all scraped up, like right in like my corner of my forehead where I hit. But then it was all bloody, but it had all the gravel in it and stuff.
And they're just like, shake it off, go back to class.
Well, you go in and they'd wash it out and stuff. But yeah, I remember that was one of the times that I kind of really hurt myself in the playground. That was it. Face planting like that.
Yeah, that's and not only to mention really quickly is that the gravel or the pebbles were worse because they were smooth, so they were slippery. But running in that, you always slipped.
Well, and those you could, they had some heft to them too. So if people were, people would throw rocks around, like those, like gravel would be like, it's like sand almost with some rocks, but like those pebbles, like you could really whip one of those if you wanted to. Like you could you could do some damage if you ran through it or something, Especially in the winter up here with snowballs and stuff like that.
And with the gravel. Okay, so we talked about...
But we got a list of stuff we're going through.
We talked about going to the playground, what the playground was on, and we're already should have been dead 7 times over. And we haven't even gotten to the equipment.
Man, we're resilient. Gen X.
That's right. We went through some stuff.
So do you guys remember, I mean, I'm sure you do, but did your parks that you frequented have the death trap teeter-totters or seesaws? We called them teeter-totters.
Teeter-totter.
Same thing. Teeter-totter seesaw.
Those were just made for kids who wanted to be mean.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So you'd be in the top half, and the other person would jump off, and you'd fall right down.
That was like the original trust fall.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that, like
it was.
You're counting on that person on the other side of the teeter-totter seesaw to not drop you, basically.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, every single kid did it because it was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can see the look on the kid's face when they're like down and you're stuck up high. You're like, that little bastard's gonna jump off. And
exactly. And I'm coming down quick. Yeah, like and you're in that weird sort of half sitting position too, so you don't like. You kind of fall in a weird...
Yeah, you fall on your tailbone.
Yeah, like it was always a weird...
Yeah.
Or you fall too hard and you're not ready and you kind of smush your legs.
Like I'm saying your legs are kind of in a weird sort of almost prone position. It was not good. It was just recipe for disaster.
I'm pretty sure I tried ejecting off the top once because I knew it was going to get dropped.
Yeah.
And that's even trying to jump off, but you had that... your kind of legs are you got the handle across it, so you can't just like bail out.
Yeah,
like, you got to kind of like get over it. It was weird, or just like slide off the back of it or something.
Some of them are really high. I mean, maybe it's because I was little, but some of them I remember being really high. And then it was also like in theory, though, I think teeter-totters are kind of fun.
Well, they're fine.
It's just kids are mean.
No, don't design them because they're like, oh, kids will get hurt on this.
No, that was the intention was never to be like, let's
hurt the kids.
Okay,
you got too many kids here. Like maybe take a couple out with some teeter-totters.
Here's a question though, and I want honest answers. Honest answers. You won't be judged now. Maybe.
Oh, I don't think this is a circle of trust. This is a circle of judgment.
This has been the three of us, right?
Hold on. Were either one of you at one point in time the kid that jumped off?
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%. I'm sure. Yeah.
I guarantee you. Like I wasn't the first one to do it. When it happened to me, I'm like, oh, I'll keep this in my bag of tricks for later.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like I did it to other kids after.
But I didn't have the playground I used to go to, like for my school, we didn't have teeter-totters there.
No,
I knew like we went to playgrounds around that had them.
Yeah, that was same with me.
My daily hang didn't have teeter-totters.
What about you, innocent Kelly?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm being honest, you won't believe me, but I don't think I ever did that because honestly, I never went on teeter-totters a lot because they just terrified me after that, like having that happen. But I really don't think I did because it was really mean.
Wow. You're like, I know how much this hurts. I can't.
But
I can't do it to another.
Also,
a gentle soul.
Boys are just kind of meaner than girls.
Well, boys just do dumb stuff. They think it's funny.
Yeah,
girls are more just
and that you're gonna do to somebody else, but you knew that it was gonna happen to you as well.
And if you were a boy and you did it to a girl, that was like you were so mean.
Oh yeah, that was a border you don't cross, I guess.
No, because you don't be mean like that to girls.
No, exactly.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, again, so many bad injuries could have happened. And I'm sure...
even the fact that like it's also like I remember people trying to climb up them too, like you try and see if you could climb up it and see if you could how far you could get before it would teeter on you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like a moving, there's moving parts there, so like your hands getting in there potentially or something like.
And the ones that I experienced were like really old metal rusty ones.
Well, they're all metal too and stuff like that.
So terrible.
Yeah. There's probably some shop teacher back in the day making these things. Like, they were like, rigorously tested for safety or anything like that.
No, I don't think they went through any sort of like
Yeah.
whatever they have now, the CSA.
But now there is no way that A, they're in any park, and B, like, I wouldn't let any little kids do it. I'd be like, no, I know the evil that comes from these.
Nah, it's good. You got to take those lumps and bumps. That's what kids need.
True.
That's the way you learn to,
All right. Fair enough.
How to,
you can't nerf all the edges.
No, exactly.
The next piece of playground equipment, which, again, my regular playground didn't have this. It was sort of those like bigger playgrounds, and I kind of thought they were fun at the time, but the merry-go-round.
My city park had one of these things, and they were dangerous as hell. It was
because everyone would try and go as fast as possible, try and hang on to it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just like this metal, and they were all metal too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like they were
the little poles that hold you in.
It was all metal.
Fall off all the time.
People fall off. Kids get their legs stuck under the thing. Like, yeah.
I remember people like you try and like hang on to it and stuff like see how far you could like hang off of it and all this stuff. Like they were a ton of fun, but they were super dangerous.
And one of my favorite fail videos to watch online is like adults on the merry-go-rounds thinking that they're like badasses.
Well, you forget that's you think, I did this when I was 10. I can do this now when I'm in my 30s or 40s or whatever. And
but they were like all metal poles to hold on to, and they were always seemed like they were like wobbly a little bit.
Oh yeah, they weren't like always very sturdy because again, like who's kind of checking up on these things, right?
Yeah, they still like sort of safe. Installed. They were just there and
set it and forget it, right?
I liked it because I like spinny things.
Oh, I hate getting dizzy, so that was my nightmare.
See, as a kid, I was fine. Now I'd probably throw up, but as a kid, getting dizzy and spinning around rides didn't faze me.
But there was so many kids that got thrown off those, fell off those, like you said, got caught under them.
Or someone would be hanging off and someone would get too close and get hit. Someone would get kicked by accident or whatever. There's always something.
One of the things that like I would see happen was like as many kids that could fit on it would crawl on it, and then one person would spin it.
Yep.
And that was just a recipe for disaster.
And you sort of see because people start to try and jump off of it, or like you try and hang on from the outside, or
I used to try to make my way to the middle and just hold on to that middle part of it, just to because here I'll be the safest and I won't get dizzy, I hope. And
why did you go on it if you didn't want to feel left out?
Exactly.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, exactly. It's a real problem.
You should have volunteered to be the spinner.
I should have been.
That would have been, that could be a professional spinner.
It always seemed like the older kids were the spinners. And the young kids were on there, and the older kids were just kind of make things go as fast as possible.
You know why? Because the older kids knew the younger kids would do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be so fun, guys. Let's do this, guys.
Well, because exactly. They know exactly how it's going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those were fun, but I haven't seen one like.
No.
I can't remember the last time I saw one of those, like in a park.
I mean, they're insanely dangerous. Like they're just really dangerous, especially because again, you put kids who just want to have fun and push the limits, and they're not having any safety precautions.
No, and I'm sure if they, for some reason, I want to say there's a park downtown that has one.
Maybe,
but it's like a newer plastic.
It doesn't go as fast.
Version that's
or
not
has seatbelts.
It probably like a limiter on it, so it can't go fast.
Yeah, because I'm sure I've seen one somewhere.
Yeah,
or it could have seatbelts. Imagine that.
Or
I'm trying to remember. I think it was. It's more of a safer version of it.
And I get why.
And then again, you're falling onto like.
But
rubber now and all this stuff.
But I mean, I get why they don't have them anymore. I mean, it's just a liability and just.
Well, that's dangerous. A lot of times. Unfortunately, it's. Someone has fallen off and then someone's going to try and sue somebody or something or other. And then they just like, all right, we're just going to get rid of them.
Yeah. Here's another one that we didn't really call it this, but when we saw the picture, we're like, oh yeah, we had those. So they called it jungle gyms.
Yeah.
Which was, Eric described sort of,
it's
we'll
sort
put
of like
a picture up, but.
Yeah, it's sort of like a half globe made of metal. And it's kind of like almost like in a triangular mesh shape.
Yeah.
So basically it was sort of like a half globe of monkey bars in a way.
Yeah, basically you could climb up the outside.
You could climb up the outside. You could hang off it on the inside and stuff.
Yeah. I don't remember calling it a jungle gym.
No, don't know if we had a name for it. I think we just called it like the globe or something.
I don't even remember. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I never used those because I just had no physical like stamina to pull myself up.
No, I remember climbing on top of them, and you didn't really do much on them. You kind of sit on top of them, or like you said, maybe you'd hang on them or something. But I
remember it seemed super high, and when I was a little kid, I was always like afraid to go to the very top of it.
Yes.
And when I got old enough that I come to the top, it was a big day for me. I'm like, oh man, I made it to the top of the what's this? The jungle gym.
The jungle gym.
But if you fell from the top, like that's a big deal.
If you fell, like you're gonna smack your head off a couple of those bars going through too. Like like it was.
Yeah,
they were kids being kids. I'm sure there's lots of pushing and shoving too, right?
Well, and not only that, so like they had like tiny like squares for where the holes where the bars weren't. Like, so we'll have a picture up so you guys can see. But like you can get your arm stuck or your leg stuck.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like it's just a mess.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna fall off that thing, like either you're gonna fall straight through or you're gonna catch something on, like you're gonna catch a leg or a foot or something on the way through.
It was all metal too.
Yeah, they're all metal. Yeah,
slippery as F.
Yeah, so slippery when it rains out and stuff. You know, the paint chips off those things. That's just like, so you get like paint chips and
so the paint would be off, it would just be like bare metal and just be like slippery as hell. And then especially if you're like running around as a kid, you get hot and sweaty. So
exactly. Because I think it's all plastic now, right?
Oh yeah, like let's just talk about the fact that the paint on the metal probably had lead in it.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. Like it was
and,
just.
Raise your hand if you eat paint chips. Just me? Okay, never mind.
You ate paint chips?
Well, look at me.
Are you serious?
No.
He still eats them.
They're delicious.
He was snacking on them before we went live.
I sprinkled them on my spaghetti.
Oh, okay. Anyway, next.
Just jokes. I don't eat paint chips anymore.
I just bashed my face off the mic.
Good.
Apologies to everyone listening if they hear that weird noise there. Kelly's just trying to eat the microphone.
All right. This is another one that I just say the word and I just like, because I can feel everything.
This one, I can still... I have vivid memories of this.
The sounds and the feel of it.
Yeah.
Metal slides.
Oh my God,
yeah.
And because it was literally just sheet metal, like nailed onto like the slide. So not only was it hot, it was dry as like you would.
Going down those things in shorts as a kid, it would be hot and just like burn and rip it. Yeah.
If for some reason some of the edges weren't down, you're getting cut on the way down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it would make a clunky noise as you went down it as well.
Yeah,
because as you're pushing in parts of the sheet metal.
Oh, it would be like.
Exactly.
And you had to watch your shoes if like the heels of your shoes would catch on it sometimes if you you had to kind of keep your feet up so you didn't like slide like you wouldn't you wouldn't just sort of stop yourself.
I literally had forgotten all about metal slides, but I can hear the sounds. I can even smell the like.
How many people left layers of skin on those things
God, yeah.
when it was hot outside?
Oh, I know. And they would be they'd be like the temperature of the sun on that thing. They'd be so hot.
I know. You'd burn yourself. It's not even a joke.
And they would be pretty steep too. Like there's some that would be pretty high up.
The slides back then were not how they are now. Like they were like steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And super narrow.
Do you remember those ones too that were like they were metal, but it was like a really wide. The slide was pretty wide, but it was like only like maybe 5 feet.
Yep.
And at the very top of like a metal bar, you could like do a flip on the metal bar and like land on the slide, and it would just be like a quick little shot down.
That was fun.
Were okay.
I remember those.
Yeah, I remember those too. Those were fun. But I remember that you'd always do like you'd put the bar in your stomach and do like a somersault over it and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Yeah. But so here's the thing though, like why did we keep going on the slide if it
was
hurt?
fun.
I remember having a ton of fun on them though. Because
I mean, I
loved trying to like run up the slide.
That was the other thing too, trying to slide down and run up them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plastic slides you can't do that; they're too slippery. Metal slides you could.
Yeah, you could get a good footing on them, right?
Yeah,
and you can make your way up the slide.
Yeah, and it had like just like the slide on each side. It was like there's that little metal edge you could kind of use it to like pull yourself up if you got close enough. You kind of like.
Can you guys like hear the sound of trying to run up it?
I can hear the squeaky sound.
And like of your shoes on the metal, because like I said, it was literally just a piece of sheet metal, so it wasn't even all the way flush on it, like where it was nailed in at the corners and the edges, but the middle sometimes there'd be like air between
no, I mean those were janky.
They were super janky.
Like they'd all be out there exposed, like you said. I don't think there's anyone like there's only like it was not that city was going out there like on a regular basis every year or something, like checking these things for if they were, then I'm sure standards were a lot lower too, but it was just kind of like when they set it up and like it was set up and then 10 years later.
But I don't know like what's worse though, because I haven't been to a playground in many years, so I assume that they're mostly like plastic now. But do you remember when we had at least those yellow plastic slides, and they were the worst. They were I cringe just like the staticness.
I remember how the one I had it was
the
orange
spiral, whatever.
I had a yellow spiral slide.
Yeah, but like they were all nailed together unevenly. They were so like hard plastic. They weren't smooth and like static.
Well, that's the static on them too. You get and shock people and stuff like that. Yeah,
I can feel it on my skin, and it's making me have the heebie-jeebies.
I know.
Give me a metal slide anyway.
Well, I'm thinking of the metal slide. I remember a couple years ago now, I took my nephew to one of those like indoor kids play park things.
Yes. Yep.
And they had it was like 5 metal slides all side by side, and they kind of like did like a couple of like dips.
Yeah.
And I took him on it, and he was little. He was like maybe a year, so I had him in my lap.
Yeah.
I went down that thing so fast. I was shocked. I thought it was like, it's like whatever. It's a kid's thing.
It's a kid's slide, yeah.
So between the two like dips,
yeah,
I actually caught air off of it. It was crazy. I could not believe it. I caught air and like actually left the slide and landed on my tailbone. I'm trying to hold on to this
baby
year-old kid, make sure he doesn't get hurt. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
I could not believe how fast that slide was. I'm like, what the fuck do they have this thing in here
so
for?
Does he have trust issues now? Like,
I don't know. He's probably I had trust issues.
Maybe it's because of your weight. You had more
Well, that's what I think it was. And yeah, so I flew down that. I did not see. It was one of those things where, like, when it wasn't, maybe the slide was like maybe 15 feet high from the top to the bottom.
Maybe it should have been like in the luge, because I remember going down like a water slide with Steve once, and we went super fast down that too. So maybe something about you and slides.
It's the body composition.
I don't know,
but like I was not, because at that thing I was like, it's like, it's a kid, like it's a metal slide or whatever. But I'm like, it's in a kid's place, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, didn't think much of it. But as soon as we started, I was like, whoa, that's just like
that was fast.
It was really fast. Yeah.
Did
that was
you
crazy.
protect the baby?
Yeah, I was worried I was gonna get his like hand caught.
Yeah.
Between like my leg and the slide or something like that. So it was a whole thing. But I can't believe how fast it was.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you have one of those crazy body compositions that you just go fast down things no matter what.
Maybe. I learned my lesson once when I was like 9 and I went down a water slide and I stopped on. I was going too slow.
Oh my God, you just gave me severe.
And I got hit by somebody.
Oh no!
Some like grown ass man hit me.
Yeah.
Coming down full tilt, like doing the whole like body cross, leg cross.
Yeah.
I took his legs right in my back.
Oh.
First of all, that would
kill.
First of all, that was a bad water slide attendant.
Yeah, I remember.
You're supposed to wait till they're out at the bottom.
I don't know why, but I mean, I was little, so I'm guessing I was probably too light and whatever, and so it just, I remember that, but I was like one of the had like a little corkscrew on it.
Did he feel bad at least?
I scared the crap out of him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem was too is like I was like, well, and I was kind of like, like I'm stopped. And then so I started, I'm trying to push myself down the slide.
Oh my God, I would have
and all of a sudden I feel
panic.
that all of a sudden you get like that. There's extra water starts coming. I'm like, there's somebody coming behind me, and the guy tried to
brace himself.
Yeah. He hit me hard.
Oh my God!
Yuck.
So did they get you? Did you get down the slide eventually? Or?
Oh yeah, he pushed me all the way through. He hit me hard enough. I was right at the very, very end of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's just almost there.
I'm sorry, that slide attendant didn't. You're supposed to wait till they're out.
Yeah, I know. That was.
It wasn't good.
I know. Yeah, that was. So after that, maybe that's just anyway. The point of that was I learned my lesson that
subconsciously
you got to go.
You
fast.
always try to go fast on a slide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one time I didn't, I paid dearly for it.
Oh my gosh! All right, so we. Again, going through all these, and we've only gone through 4 of them, and we are still alive. Hello.
Yeah,
props to us. We survived.
We are survivors of all of these treacherous toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Playground equipment, what do you want to call it?
Now, this one isn't so much like we could have died, but thinking about it now, it's like, ew, how did we not get some communicable disease?
Yeah.
Sandboxes.
Oh, yeah. So
just the world's biggest cat litter
Yeah,
box.
literally, that's
exactly.
what it is.
It's a cat litter box.
Yeah.
So not only a cat litter box, but when it would rain, nothing was covering them up. So they'd be gross.
No,
and
they were
moldy.
wide open. Yeah.
There would be bugs, other animals pooped in there, gross, and all the toys were mutually shared.
Yeah, and again, kids throw stuff, right? Like how many kids got a wad of sand hit them in the face?
Yeah, and it was just dirty. I mean, sandboxes in general are kind of unless you have a cover for it, they're just
it's a lot different now. You buy I've seen the kids ones they have where it's like a little turtle type thing that's all plastic enclosed and it has like a lid for it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times it's just literally a pile of sand.
Yeah.
And maybe it had some
4x4s
around it or something like that.
Yeah.
I had a sandbox as a kid. I had one in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that was just dirt. It's just.
But it's also it was
2x4s.
your sandbox. You weren't sharing it with a whole bunch. How many kids probably peed in them just because?
That's true. Yeah. I remember it all the time as a kid. The one in my backyard. My dad going through and it was like, oh, there's
cat shit.
Cat shit.
But
everywhere.
little boys might have peed in the one, park one, ew, gross. Also, you were actually before when we were talking about this list, you had a statistic about sandboxes.
Oh yeah, the bacteria.
Yeah, it said it was there's the amount of bacteria and stuff like that was 2,000 times more than a public restroom door handle.
Oh,
and they're gross. So
kids are just playing in this, and
and then,
some kids eat the sand,
and kids aren't exactly, especially
yeah.
hand sanitize, washing your hands and stuff like that. No. Especially back in the day, it wasn't,
we were unsupervised, so it was
we
our
unsupervised
parents.
now, and half now parents have
sanitizer,
Purell and stuff like that. All this stuff it was. Didn't even it just wasn't a thing.
And parents were there to be like, Tommy, don't eat the sand. It was just like, dinner.
My dad actually encouraged it.
That's your problem.
Eat up, Eric. Eat the sand.
But it mixed with some baked chips.
This is your dinner. Sandboxes
are a Tootsie Roll, I swear.
Oh God.
Sandboxes are really gross when you think about it. Like, with the surface, you're like, oh, a sandbox, so fun. You're like, ew, nope.
When you start to think about all this stuff, it's like,
litter box.
I'll pass, yeah.
Ooh, gross. And then we went to, this is sort of a general, the wooden equipment. My whole playground was wooden at one point at school.
Yeah, it was all wood. Yeah, definitely.
So not only wood, but you get splinters because it wasn't like
I definitely remember
wood.
As a kid having that. We had it's like a little like drawbridge type thing, and it had like, and I remember running across it and like a piece of wood jamming in the hand.
Oh yeah,
it was like a knot in the wood that like could come loose. Or
mine had like chains on the side of it. So it wasn't sturdy. It was kind of like loose on purpose. Right?
Yeah, that's what this was. Yeah, but it had like a wooden. It had like a wooden like solid rail on top of it.
Yeah.
Too. And I remember running across it.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's a piece of knot of wood jutted out and it got me right.
Splinters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was like, it cut me open. It was a big one.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the splinters were the real thing. And not only that, so like when they would get wet from the rain, it was just gross and slippery. It was like slimy.
Yeah. Yep.
And the splinters. And what else? There was something else. They were just weird. Like, who's going to play on, like, I don't know. It was weird. I'd rather have metal slides.
Yeah, mine was kind of a mix of both. Like it was all wood, but like it had plastic slides. It had metal like monkey bars and stuff like that as well. I had the fireman's pole.
Yeah. But the little
I wonder if they still have those.
Because
I remember jumping off that thing, try and climb up and down it.
Well, I mean, like the wood rots too, right? So you'd have like boards where like, a board would fall out and like now it's like basically a hole in this play set, and so kids are falling through this and like
that's true. Yeah, exactly.
And those bridges that you were talking about, like it would be like every single kid there would get on the bridge and jump on it.
Oh yeah.
I can
almost hear it in my head.
The chain
and the wood.
It's weird, but
people like would shake it back and forth, or someone would. I remember someone stand on either side. And you try and someone in the middle. You try and get turn into like a trampoline if you jumped on it right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was tons of fun. I miss. They need to have like an adult playground.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think you could survive it? Now, like I couldn't even climb up it. I'm
sure.
Oh
God, I'd probably like hurt my back 2 minutes.
Oh, I'd probably.
I gotta go home.
Yeah, I'd get winded.
We're not as limber as when we were kids.
I like to think I am, but I get a reality check from once in a while.
Look, here's my reality check. Sidebar, but my reality check was the other day at my house. I missed the bottom 2 stairs.
You fell down the stairs?
And I fell. Only like, the 2 bottom stairs, and I fell forward, flat on my knees, flat on my hands, and there's nothing more humbling than falling and having your whole entire body weight splat on the floor.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like,
you're like, oh, that hurts.
And then you have to pause and you're like, anything broken?
Yeah. If you're a kid, you're jumping up, you kind of brush it off.
No, I mean, I notice that now. I can sit on the couch and I can sit on the couch in a weird angle for like an hour, not really notice it, then get up and be like, oh, I'm gonna feel that for like the next couple of days on my back or whatever.
Sleeping, where your body's supposed to be recharging, you wake up and you sleep. In a weird position, your neck's messed up for a week.
I did that the other day. I didn't even notice it, and I was driving. I went to check my blind spot.
Yeah.
Ooh, I did something funny last night because I can't look to the right.
Who knew that sleeping was a dangerous sport?
Getting old sucks.
Maybe that's the most dangerous thing about being in Gen X. Just getting older.
Getting old is the worst.
It's not
kids listening, do not get old.
Don't get old.
It's not worth it.
The playground won't get you, but Father Time will.
That's right.
All right,
deep.
We have our note in front of us, so you guys are going to wonder why I'm skipping, but I'm going to swap the last 2 because I feel like the second last one is sort of like one of the biggest oopsies. So second last on our list is monkey bars. They were dangerous AF. I have a story where I almost got paralyzed on them.
Monkey bars were dangerous.
I loved monkey bars.
I love them too.
Oh, I thought they're tons of fun.
But they are super dangerous.
So you know how you would hang and go across? Did you ever go to the top and go across them?
Sometimes.
Yeah, like walk across them.
That was so dangerous.
I remember leveling up on monkey bars because at first you'd go like kind of one bar at a time.
Yeah.
And then when I could go to like miss a couple bars and stuff, I'm man, I'm like a full-on monkey now.
That's right.
But did you walk above? Yeah. You didn't go up to the top of them and like crawl across them. People did that.
I remember that people would try and walk across them.
Yeah, I didn't have a death wish as a kid. I'm like going up there.
Right? Because the bars were spaced very far apart.
Depending on some of them. It all depends. But we had ones that actually went like on an angle. So you could actually start on the ground and you could go up to the
cool.
platform.
Okay.
That's fancy.
So they weren't just like straight across, but they were like on it, yeah.
But I think you have a harrowing story to tell us.
Yeah.
I actually get shivers thinking about it of how like literally wrong it could have went.
Yeah.
And they had the monkey bars, but at the ends of the monkey bars, they usually had a metal bar kind of like, I don't know, 4 feet off the ground, 5 feet off the ground, like horizontal to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we used to like, you would sit on them and then you'd fall back so your bar was behind your knees and you'd be hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
And so I was doing that and it was high enough up and I was small enough where like, I wasn't touching the ground when I was hanging upside down. And some little jerk, that's right, I'm calling them a little jerk because that was mean.
That's harsh.
Came up and grabbed my feet and flipped up so I fell like straight down on my head, like my neck.
Yeah.
It was one of the only times in my life where the breath was taken out of me, and how you're like,
oh yeah.
So did you land on your head?
Well, I mean, I can't remember, but it was like your head, and then you kind of crunched, and then you landed on your back. But I remember I couldn't get up because my back hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And it was like the breath was just
knocked out of you.
That hurt. I've had that knocked the wind out of you. That hurts.
That's scary.
But that's scary on your head though, like that.
Well, here's the thing. So I went I couldn't move for a bit. I went home. I was really sore on my I clearly had bruised something, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And or jarred something.
Well, because your hands, you're falling like you're not breaking your fall.
Well, no,
right?
it was like literally just And so I mean, God bless my parents, but it was the 80s or 90s. Or
walk it off.
Yeah, nowadays I would be like, oh my God, let's go to the hospital, check for, spinal injuries,
soft tissue damage,
whatever, like head injuries, like landing square on your head, like your neck, like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was pretty much like, oh, okay, we'll just like take it easy, and I was
go lie down on the couch.
But I mean, I swear that I had some sort of concussion because my head hurt. Like it was brutal.
No, that's like that's a hard fall.
It was
that's scary.
Awful. And ever since then, I never ever went on monkey bars.
That would do it.
I would 100% think
that was a broken trust right there.
Yeah, and it was just some jerky kid who thought he was being funny.
And that's the thing, kids do stupid stuff, and that's why they have all these.
This will be funny, haha.
So I'm traumatized for life about that.
So you don't want to go to the monkey bars? Is that
no.
What you're saying? Damn it! That was what I was going to say after we're done the show here. We can go to the playground. Now I want to go to the playground.
I could even feel it.
Ugh. That's awful.
Fell. And just nothing is scarier. Like I know you said, but have you ever had the wind knocked out of you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's brutal.
I remember taking a soccer ball in the stomach, but I wasn't expecting it. Knocked the wind right out of me. I was just like, you're gasping for air. Am I dead? Is this dying?
It's like the weirdest feeling.
Oh, I know. I think
it's scary.
I remember it only happened to me once. Yeah, I fell. It's no longer, but I fell off a big wheel when I was like
they are also
very dangerous.
Yeah.
Big
but
wheels.
I was older. I wasn't a kid riding. It was something stupid. I was trying to use an old toboggan as a jump, and I.
Okay. See.
Anyway, but I fell off. I landed on my tailbone and totally knocked the wind out of me.
I mean, you kind of deserve that.
It was a stupid idea all around. Yes.
Yeah, how old were you? 22.
Not that old, but no, it was definitely I was like
old enough to know better.
Oh yeah, I was probably 10 or 11.
Oh, the age where you do dumb stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because it was one of those things where I had the big wheel when I was like 4 or 5, whatever it was, but it was always just in the shed.
Yeah,
we never got rid of it, so for some reason I decided.
Yeah. So monkey bars, so out of all these so far, is like my most.
Well, anything
hated.
where you're hanging upside down, like it's just ripe for any sort of
and
then he said even if you don't fall, but some kid who thinks it's funny to push someone, or like it's just
awful. So here's the last one on our list, and I know that there's probably a million, like a lot of playgrounds in different like countries have different things. This is sort of like what we grew up and
stuff that we remembered.
There's a lot of other stuff, but this one to me, I never had any injuries, but I mean. The tire swing.
Oh man, I love tire swings, but they're like dangerous.
They're so dangerous. Like, okay, so really quickly, they're dangerous because like the tire itself is ginormous and heavy. So if you walk too close and weren't paying attention, you got hit by that. Like you were on the ground.
Oh yeah, I got nailed by a tire swing for sure. Like just being a dumb kid not paying attention. Like you said, you're walking past and like boom, one nails it, you're flying.
And the amount of kids that used to try and cram onto the tire swing.
Yeah.
And then if you were on it by yourself, it would like tip. And then I know you guys have more experiences on the tire swings about all the little games you'd play and stuff.
My public school, we had 2 tire swings.
Ooh.
So we would always do stupid stuff on them. Yeah, I remember
standing on them.
Yeah.
We would do this thing where like I said, so like you would be in the tire swing.
Yeah.
And I would stand on the ground and grab one of the support ropes,
Chains?
and just sort of spin in a circle. Like, so I would just stay stationary and spin you around as fast as I could.
Yep.
And then at the last second, like, give it a twirl, so you'd be spinning like crazy while the whole thing was going around.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or people trying to like then jump on and like hang off the side of it and all this stuff. We used to have names. I don't remember the name. We had stupid names for all this stuff, but yeah, but we had like all sorts of stuff like that. Like
anybody else hearing the sound of the chain right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The like.
Yeah, that noise it made.
Clanking.
Yeah.
It was
creaking.
fun.
I only like the tire swing if I was the only one on it.
Yeah.
But even then,
we had to be careful too because I remember like. You know, you had like the big wood supports around it, so like if if it got too far to the side and you leaned out, you could potentially smack your head off of the.
What kind
you know,
what kind of tire games did you play, Ark?
Tire games,
swing games.
I remember, like for tire swings and swings in general, the goal was always to make it all the way around.
On the tire swing?
Yeah, even on the tire swing.
There's no way the tire swing. It's so heavy. How's it going to go all the way around?
We never did it.
No.
But you actually,
it was impossible.
It was physically impossible to do.
It was impossible to do. But
you thought you could do it.
We thought we could do it. We're like, we're going to swing so hard and so high. We're going to go all the way around, one full revolution.
Well, people probably I think with like old school swings, right? You think, oh, I'm gonna
yeah, okay,
try and loop around.
How did you intend on hanging on?
That wasn't even the thought. The thought wasn't how to hang on. The thought was how to get around.
Yeah. You're not. There's no thought into this. Like if I go this fast and this, you know. It's
oh my gosh! Yeah. Kids can't have anything nice.
Yeah. No, and like I remember, like was when you got the swing as high as it would go. Basically, you jump off and try to like get as high in there as you can and like land.
Yeah, I remember you see some fails of that. People jumping off like the old like the swing sets.
Yeah.
Now like you see like adults who try and recapture that glory of jumping off of it and
they get hurt pretty bad.
They get hurt really bad. Yeah,
my ankle.
Yeah, basically stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like what was easy at like 8 isn't so easy at like 38 or 48 or whatever.
The tire swings. Yeah, all I can hear right now while you guys are talking is the jingling.
Well,
of
I'm saying even like talking about the chain like the bridge. We're talking about like the suspension bridge, like the chains and stuff on the playgrounds. I can almost hear it in my head now.
Isn't it so cool how like talking about it just kind of brings those like memories back? Because it's all like the what? Like, are you cold?
No, I just had like a shiver.
Eric just really shivered. I hope you.
Someone just.
We're gonna have to close
my grave.
We're gonna have to close up on that. Like Eric's whole body just went like.
I had a reaction there. I think I was having good and bad memories of all this stuff at once.
It's just so funny how like your sense of like hearing and all that smell and it just like comes back to you.
It just triggers all the memories. Yeah.
Because like the metal slide, the sound of running up it.
Yeah, because I mean, I haven't really thought about the playground that I used to, because as a kid, like, especially like at recess and stuff like that. Like we'd be out there all the time. We'd have all sorts of run around playing games and all this stuff on it. Like.
It's crazy. I mean, I feel like I need to go. See, this sounds weird though. I feel weird going to a playground if I don't have kids to take. But like, I feel
maybe stay away.
Well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying I feel like I need to go check out a new age playground.
Yeah,
see what definitely.
The deal is. You see a few, for walks and stuff like that. They're definitely a lot different than.
Yeah,
they look a lot nicer than the ones I remember as a kid.
Like I said,
or maybe we just discovered like an untapped market. Maybe there's like a market for adult playgrounds.
Yeah,
maybe. But
they had summer camp for adults and stuff like that.
I would low key love to do that. I think that would be so fun to go to like a summer camp. I
loved going to camp as a kid, so it was fun to.
Would these camps have like alcohol now?
Probably, I would assume so.
Ooh, that's fun.
That's going to be a big mess in the in the ball pit.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty like, wow, we were lucky kids.
No, you just realize all this stuff like. Even like just the simple, like we're talking like even just like swings and stuff like that, swing sets. One of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was like on like the big swing sets. Mm-hmm. They always had like there'd be like 3 poles on the end of it, right, supporting it. I would grab onto the 2 of them and climb up.
Why would you do that?
Until you get to the top.
Yeah, you hang off the top bar.
You just drop it down.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you drop from like 6 feet, like 10 feet drops when you're a kid and be fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of it. And a lot of times you're on grass or whatever too. At that point, it was like
I mean, you guys were way cooler when you were kids.
Yeah.
Well, now I'd probably just
break something.
Oh God!
I just hit myself.
Throw my shoulder out or something like that.
You're really trying to eat that mic today, aren't you?
Well, because you guys said that I sound too hollow sometimes, so I'm trying to be like. I'm trying to be like I mean, thinking back about all this like stuff, like I mean, I don't know if adults just didn't care back then or they just didn't know any better. But now, definitely, they have the kids' best interests at heart. I think. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think they've definitely taken like safety up a notch.
Yeah.
For sure. So with that in mind, you think like we had some memories from going back and looking at all the equipment from when we were kids. Do you think like they nerfed the edges too hard and like they've taken the fun out of the playground by making it too safe?
This is an interesting question because I do think that a lot of the issues of our experiences growing up had nothing to really specifically to do with the equipment other than just kids being kids and doing unsafe things and perhaps not having the parental supervision, right? Like you just did throwing people off things and pushing people and all that kind of stuff. However, I mean, I do think that, you know, some of the stuff we had definitely shouldn't have existed, and I'm glad that it doesn't exist now. But I also do think that sometimes there's a little bit too much padding for kids these days. You gotta scrape your knee, kids. You gotta scrape your knees. You gotta, you know, just...
Yeah. No, I think, I mean, from the playgrounds I've seen that are out there now, like they're just as high as they were when we were kids. They're just as, you know, you can climb on them as much. Like they're definitely look like they're better made.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've done a crazy job of like, they haven't, if they really wanted, like, you know, they'd just be gone.
Bubble wrap.
So it's not, it hasn't gone to that far. That I've seen at least.
Yeah.
Where they're not making it super safe for kids, where you can still fall off and stuff like that, but they've smartened up now more where it's like, you know,
if you are going to fall,
if you're going to fall off, at least you're going to land on like more of a spongy sort of mat versus gravel or dirt and stuff like that. So I think they've done a good job where kids can still go out there. Kids are going to be kids. You're going to throw stuff, you're going to jump off stuff, you're going to climb stuff.
Yeah.
At least they've made it. You can still do that as far as I can see.
Yeah.
But if you're going to fall off, you're going to get, you know,
part of
at least they've made
testing,
it as like safe as possible.
Yeah, look, like you're never going to like protect a kid from hurting them, like because kids are just kids, right?
No,
they're going to do what they're going to do.
And kids have to get hurt.
Of course, they have to get hurt.
The fastest way to learn not to do something is to, you know.
I think it's just funny, like for our experience, like to like now, like just in like a, you know, looking back, it's like, oh my God, these kids are so lucky. Like we almost died 700 times like every day.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But like, it's just, I mean, the times change. It just is what it is.
No, exactly.
And also I think like nowadays there's more, which I think is, it needs to be just because of there's so much things going on in the world. But now there is a lot more like parents take the kids to the park. The parents just sitting there. The parents are, you know, watching.
That definitely seems a lot more because I know a few times, like in the summer when it's nice out, like the parks surrounding me are like full of not just kids, but like all the parents are there. Where
we were just like, you know, whatever,
room free.
But
parents were never there.
Eric, what about you though? You never answered yet.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's good that they made things safer for the kids and stuff because kids are going to find like a way to like hurt themselves no matter what they do.
Yeah.
It's just part of being a kid, like you guys are saying. So I don't think like they're taking the fun out of the playground at all. I think they made it safer, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I mean, look, we didn't need to be like, you know, ingesting lead paint and rusty metal and scraping ourselves on metal and
no, like I said, if they wanted to like completely. Then either you wouldn't have playgrounds, or like every playground would be like literally like a foot off the ground of like the most lame and basic things. But I'm saying the ones I've seen, they're still like, you know, they're 10 feet high. You can climb up them if you want. You can jump off of them. It's just they've made it that if you're gonna do that, at least you know, hopefully you won't get as hurt as what we would as a kid, where you know, might put you in the hospital, potentially you break an arm or a leg.
Exactly. And as a taxpayer, I appreciate kids having less broken bones being in the hospital.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, exactly. Although it's our tax dollars paying for the upgrades to these playgrounds.
That is true too.
Way to offset my point. Thank you very much.
But I think overall this was really fun to look back because it just literally all my senses, it kind of brought it back.
Stuff that, you know, I haven't thought about, like tire swings in years. So
I can even taste the paint.
I'm gonna go look up adult playgrounds after this to see if there's any out there.
I smell a Gen X Unfiltered business opportunity.
Yeah. Do you know what an adult playground would consist of now? It would be a bed with an orthopedic mattress and pillow.
Okay.
It would be I don't even know. That's all I got.
I don't know. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
Some like Aquafit, low impact Aquafit.
Oh God. Okay. Idea canceled.
Yeah.
All right, guys. But we thank you so. Actually, before I go, I just want to do a quick little thank you to a mutual friend of ours who actually gave us this idea and sent us the article we got all our inspiration from.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for that. And that's it for today's podcast episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and comment below. Let us know what you thought. And until then, guys, we will see you later.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.